And we are live. It is a showtime. Guys, what is going on out there today? Hope you're having a great day so far. Here we are, January 22nd. Is that correct? Yeah, 2021. And this is our 22nd day of the January 2021 reboot, the body reboot, the physical reboot, reset, whatever you want to call it. And day 22, we're going for 31 days, right? The whole month of January. And what I've asked you to do on January 1st, if you've been with me since then, is what's one thing that you could drop for the next 31 days, not as a lifetime commitment, because typically those big lifetime commitments are just overwhelming. They don't really work in terms of a goal, but a short term, 31 days, a month. What could you drop out of your current daily diet? And for me and let me go ahead and bring this up because we're going to talk about something today that I want to help you with. You may not suffer from it, but a lot of people do. But until then, let's get over to what I asked you guys to think about dropping. And you may have come up with something else, starting with alcohol. My wife and I have decided, yeah, we're going to do the classic dry January. No alcohol for the month of January. And then sugar, meat, dairy, caffeine, processed foods, wheat, bread, second helpings. And then I added this thing today, which is the incredible toxicity of social media. And I know that's a little ironic that you're either watching this on YouTube or on Facebook. I would say that Facebook, obviously social media. YouTube to me is more of a search engine, a little bit less of social media. But anyway, but I just think we need to be careful of how much time we spend on social media. Because if you've not watched the Social Dilemma documentary that was released last year in 2020, highly encourage you to do that. It's pretty scary, to be blunt, in terms of, well, if you haven't seen it, then I'm not going to ruin it for you. So I highly recommend that you go check this out. I think that we saw it on Netflix. Maybe it was over at Amazon Prime Video, but it's one of those two. The Social Dilemma. I think there's also another one with the same title that was produced maybe 10 years ago. But make sure that you see the one that was produced last year in 2020. So guys, today, and look, I'm building this thing of notes here. And again, if you want the notes, I'm happy to send them to you at the end of January, which is, I'll just send it to you in a PDF. All you got to do is let me know over at, just go ahead and direct message me in Facebook, or you can send me an email, brent@webtennis.com. All right, here we go. So today we're talking about plantar fasciitis, right? And I'm going to go through what has worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. And so I'm just going to go through this real quick, and then I'm going to bring myself back because there's something I want to show you. So first of all, there's this thing called, and I know this is kind of small. When I bring the big screen back up, I will show it to you. It's a Futuro is the name of the brand, ankle wraparound ankle wrap. And what it does, it mimics taping, and what it actually pulls the arch up as opposed to pushing the arch up from below with an orthotic. And orthotics never worked for me. In fact, they made it worse. And I must have spent a couple $2,500 to $3,000 on different orthotics, primarily because they were being sold to me by podiatrists. Anyway, they didn't work for me. Maybe they work for some people, but they never ever worked for me. And I'm not knocking podiatry, but I just think that what I was recommended by a couple of podiatrists never worked for me. In fact, it felt like it made it worse. It felt like it made the pain worse until one of my friends at the Berkeley Tennis Club said, well, you know what, you got to get these. You got to get this wraparound ankle wrap that pulls your arch up. It pulls it up from above. And I know that they're designed for ankle stability, But in terms of stretching out your arch, for me, it worked like that. And this has been, knock on wood, probably 25 years ago was the last time I had any plantar fasciitis problem. And up until then, I'd had 3 episodes. One of them took darn near a year to get over because I was trying all this stuff that I'm going to go through here, which was orthotics that didn't work for me. Icing, I was told, you know what? You got to get a big bag of ice, put it in the floor, and put your foot down on top of the bag of ice. And that didn't work. It did not work. In fact, it made it worse. And the reason it made it worse is it was icing up. It was icing up all the healthy stuff in my foot. The point of pain was just a little kind of, little tiny dot below my heel. But this thing was icing up everything else in my foot, even the small muscles in my foot. And it was just kind of contracting, right? The small muscles. And that was pulling even tighter. Yeah, it was even pulling tighter on that point of pain, on the fascia, where the fascia attaches to the bottom of the heel bone there. So that did not work for me. The other thing that didn't work for me was this thing about breaking up the scar tissue by rolling my foot on top of, back then it was, you take a plastic water bottle and you fill it up, you'd freeze it, and then you'd get both icing and you get the breaking up the scar tissue at the same time by rolling your foot over it. It just made no sense to me. I tried that, did not work. And for me, it just felt like, wait a minute, again, no certification in medicine, no certification in any of this stuff, right? This is just my own experience. But inside my head, I'm kind of going, well, now wait a minute, if I break it up, what's that? Isn't that just going to aggravate it in terms of trying to heal it, first? And then the other thing that I was told, and I haven't even written this on here, in fact, I'll do it right now, is that, you've got to strengthen your legs. Okay, a typo, all righty. And what I found was that if I was still having pain in the bottom of my heel, that the more strengthening I did, just tightened everything up. I tightened everything else up. I got stronger. My legs got stronger, but it didn't help heal the bottom of my heel, where that fascia was connected to the heel bone. So here's the other thing that makes a lot of sense to me is that, and I've seen some stats, it's been a while since I've looked at them, but shows that carrying around a few to more pounds, extra weight, putting more weight on your skeletal system. And look, the bottom of the heel, doesn't that take the most brunt of our life in terms of walking around, trying to run around? And I remember playing a tournament in Carmel, 25 years ago, and having this thing, and then going to my sister's house, and I say with my sister Molly, and I remember getting up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom. I had to crawl. It was brutal. And so look, I definitely know the pain of this thing. But I encourage you that if you're a few pounds to more overweight, that if you don't have plantar fasciitis, you are susceptible to it. Totally susceptible to it. So be careful with that. Let's go back to, where am I here? Here I am, right there. Okay. So look, again, I showed you this. This is the Futuro ankle wrap, and here's what it looks like. It's got an opening, and this mimics taping, right? So it's got an area here where you stick your foot in, and then you use the attached strap, and there's kind of a method of how you wrap it around your ankle and up to the top, and the thing I like about it is that, again, it pulls the arch up rather than trying to push it up with an orthotic. It pulls it up. And for some reason, there's a difference with that. There's a big difference between pulling the arch up as opposed to pushing it up. And what I like about this is it's got a Velcro end to it here, so that if you put it on and it's too tight, Just undo it. If you're doing professional taping and it's too tight, well, either you just suffer through it or you got to redo the whole thing. So I wear these every time. And again, it's been 25 years. I wear these since I had a last planner episode. I wear these every time I play tennis. I wear these anytime I do like a long type of hike. And they don't take up much room in the shoe. And here's another, if you decide you want to try to get these, is the foot size, it comes in like small, medium, large, maybe XL. I get a large because I've got a wide foot. I've only got, my foot size is like 9.5, but the width for me, I've got a wide foot. One of the reasons I wear New Balance tennis shoes, because they're one of the few companies that make a wider wider shoe. And Nike's, Babolat's, those shoes just pinch my feet, and it's just a torture chamber. So, so if you've got let's call it a long foot and it's narrow, like if you've got, let's say a 12, but it's really narrow, I'm not sure you need an XL. So, and of course, if you buy them from Amazon or anywhere like that, they get delivered quickly. And if they don't fit, just send them back, right? So anyway, that's the message for today. And it's a rough disease. And in my world, in the tennis world, players, this is kind of a common injury. Elbow, wrist, shoulder, lower back are common injuries in tennis, but plantar fasciitis is as well. And if you want, I've got a program that I'm happy to send to you. It's a full-blown program I did years ago. I typically charge for it, but if you want to get it, just let me know, and I will send it to you for free. All I need to do is get your email address so I can get it over to you. The best way to do that is either direct message me on Facebook, or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. And it's a series of videos and some recommendations in there about products. I want to talk about one more thing before I forget, because I don't think I spent enough time on this, which was icing. And what I found again is that when I used to put my foot on a big bag of ice down the whole foot, everything contracted inside, and just pulled on that area where the fascia attaches to the bone. What I eventually found is you take one of those little Dixie cups, those small little, wax Dixie cups, fill it up with just about to the top with water, and then freeze it. And then once it's frozen, you can actually go in there and kind of peel away like, this much of the Dixie cup, so that you've got something you can hold on to, which is the cup itself. But now you've got, a little layer of ice exposed. And what I found is that if I just massage kind of in a circular motion one way and then go back the other way, around just on top of that point of pain, not the rest of the healthy foot, don't want to ice that down, but just on the point of pain, I found that helped a lot more than icing down the healthy stuff that kind of contracts and pulls then. So that's it. I hope, look, if you got a plantar fasciitis injury right now, or you're concerned about getting one in the future, let me know. And I'm happy to send you the program that I normally charge for. I'm happy to give it to you today. Just go ahead and direct message me at Facebook or brent@webtennis.com. I'll get it right over to you. Guys, that's it for me. Looking forward to a nice workout in the court this morning. Grass court, something. Guys, get out there today. Come on, got to do it. Get out there. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I will see you on day 23 tomorrow.